All right. Another design sesh with me and Beard here. These are 3 cards that Beard has designed that we think work very well with what we have in the kit so far. One of this is Good Hustle, a level 0 survivor event. Fast, play after you move 2 or more times during your turn. Draw a card and heal a horror. It's a pretty legit level 0 card.
Should probably change it to say 2 or more total times, just so it doesn't have to be like consecutive.
Yeah, good call. 2 or more total times during your turn. Nice. We have Tackle, which this is all for like the Moose kit. 1 cost event, Tactile. Friendly Computer, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime as well. Thank you for your support. Fast, play when you initiate an attack against an enemy engaged with you. Move to a connecting location. If this attack is succeeded by 3 or more, exhaust the attacked enemy. That is pretty sweet. I like this one too.
And notably, it is exhaust, not evade, so it's still with you.
Yeah, yeah. So you could keep, you can move with it some more as well, or just like keep fighting it, or parlay with it if you're Alessandra.
Also, good tech for aloof enemies if you want them evaded but still engaged with you.
100%. Cedric Wolcott, 4 cost. This is a Mystic asset, Hedge Wizard, great tagline. Ally Sorcerer soaks for 2 and 1. You get +1 Fist as a reaction. After you successfully attack an enemy via an asset that uses charges or ammo, exhaust Cedric Wolcott, play an asset, paying its cost. Did you say firearms or firearms? I love the flavor text.
Thank you. Yeah, it just fills a niche that doesn't really exist in Mystic right now.
Yep.
And there's some splash with guns as well, so if you wanted to use him in something like Dexter, that'd be perfectly useful.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like, it turns then all of his assets into fast stuff too that cost 1 that aren't fast, so I think it's pretty sick.
Yep, and there's always the risk if you're playing anything with charges or ammo for fighting that you're going to need to refill while you're still engaged with something.
Yeah, 100%. I have to just something that hit me for Tackle. I just got to look at that. Do we want to, for Tackle, do we want to put a rider for, like, non-massive enemies?
Well, that's why I said engage with you, because I don't think... Like massive engagement is weird. I'm trying to remember the exact wording for it.
It is, yeah, I'm going to check it.
They're not engaged with you, but they are considered to be engaged with you. Or...
Yeah.
We could also just say a non-elite one, because we don't want to be moving elite enemies either way.
Yeah, it is considered to be engaged. Yeah, non-elite's probably just a good thing to have on this. That usually covers most.
Because I think there's like maybe 1 or 2 massive non-elite enemies in the game.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I had an idea that was partly inspired by the Arkham Custom channel on our on the PBG Discord. People asking about why there were 4 icons as opposed to a wild on Maxwell Pike's signatures, right?
Sure.
And the real reason that I liked that was because it's I'll get them on the screen as well for Maxwell Pike. I liked it is because it looked nice. I think I thought it just like looked good, and it was like a decision for that. But then I thought, what if, because this guy can play Guardian cards, right? Yeah, perfect. So his signature here. This imported liquor has all of these as opposed to just a wild icon. So then it got me thinking, I don't know how many cards this is active with, but I do kind of want to explore this as a possibility. So let me just get the basic idea in, and then we can go from there.
Is it something like well prepared, but for different icons instead
Exactly
of matching?
that. Baby well prepared. Exactly that. I've seen someone do something with unique icons before. I also think it should have uses. I think, because it kind of reminds me of Jury Rig. X things. Unique skill.
I guess you could say choose an asset you control and just give baby well prepared one or no icons, so it's not going to abuse itself.
Oh yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, so it could just be like +1. Choose an asset you control.
Yeah, like on its own, it gives just a +1 once per turn.
Yeah. And I think giving it willpower is good, because I mean, I think the idea is that this can be a nice card that Maxwell can also discard for his blue splash, right? He can get some value out of it and then kick it. But I want to do is I want to look at assets and see how many have like icons on them, and like what the, if there's any that have 3. Specifically in the rogue classes where I want to start. I mean, let me do rogue and guardian.
I think a lot of assets tend to have just one icon until you get up into the higher level ones.
Yeah, then they have 2. British Bulldog does have 2 at level 0.
They spoil us.
Crowbar as well, interesting. But yeah, you're right, most of the upgraded ones do. Butterfly Swords does have 3. Gatling Gun has 3. This is interesting. Eon Chart has 3. I'm mostly just looking for 3, because a lot of them do have 2. And being like an unexpected courage is kind of where Jury Rig is at, right? Obviously, this is a little bit worse than Jury Rig, because, you know, Jury Rig just, like, gives you the things for the item, but... Greta has 2. Okay. Upgraded Greta does have 3.
Even if you get 2, that's an unexpected courage every turn.
Yep. Yeah, I think there's enough pieces here that this could work. I'm just trying to, like, upgrade some. So, like, Nacho could do this with Randall Cho and get +3 off of it.
That's big.
Yeah. Bulwark gives you +3. Yeah, I think there's something to cook with here.
We could probably keep it level 0 if it costs, like, 3, I want to say.
I guess that's the thing, right? Because if it has uses, we could probably lower the cost, right?
Oh, that is true.
If it doesn't have uses, we probably want to, I agree, keep the cost up a bit. Choose an asset you control. So the reason I like it having uses is because then with Maxwell, you obviously want to get rid of it at a certain point, right? For a +3 to a test.
Good point. Yeah, he doesn't like evergreen assets for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Maybe like if it's like 3 uses, maybe 1 cost, 1 and an action for unexpected courages. That's how much jury rig have. Jury rig was kind of like what I was inspired by for this, for like the power level, which is like
Yeah,
good
all those.
card, but and that one costs 0 and has 3 uses, but attaches to an item. I mean, this might be okay at 0 if it does have 3 uses, right?
For 3 uses, I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah, because then it's pretty on par with jury rig.
Because you have to still play it as an action.
Yeah.
And it just gives you future benefits.
Yeah. Okay. Then what the heck do we call this thing and not baby well prepared?
Yeah, I'm looking through art right now. Seeing if anything kind of inspires a flavor.
Yeah, because then we can use that to determine the things. Also trying to just, I mean, this seems fine for a level 0 card. Don't need to add. I think it's pretty... It's inspiring to build around. People who like well prepared will probably also enjoy baby well prepared. I mean, we could do an upgraded version that doesn't use things as well.
We could indeed.
But I also do like the idea of decks that do well prepared able to use this as in level 0 to then upgrade into well prepared, you know?
Makes sense to me.
Why not just well prepared? This is obviously just a lower level version. I mean, it could just be well prepared, level 0. But I feel like because it's different icons, it like is a different thing. It's it's like what am I trying to say? There was a card that just came out that was like an alternative version of a card that already exists. Oh yeah, it's haste and that specialist card, right? Where it's like the opposites, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's like the case for it. If it's like it's like the inverse of it. Time roller, how's it going? Prepared but not as well. Yeah. Here, while you're looking, I'll start putting up the other card too that I was thinking. And we can figure out the balance for that as well. It's a mystic event. We love mystic events. I don't know how to word this.
What you got going?
Oh yeah, you keep. I'll get like a basic idea down, and then I'll
Okay.
show it to you, so you can keep digging for art. All right, let me get the proper, at least the start. Doom spell, traits, ritual. Hell yeah. Alright, I think I have to... this. Yes, okay. Okay, we do this. Okay. Here's the thing. So this is for Delphine. Also technically works with Moonwine, which is kind of sick. If you're doing this on a Mystic spell, like a Shriveling. No cost or anything considered, but just this is like the starting text box idea.
I like the concept.
Yeah, because I was thinking, like, if we want to be doing Doom, she needs to be able to place Doom on more things than just, like, the Doom charms.
Yeah.
And I feel like a fast attack is, in theory, worth a Doom. And then, yeah, you can double your fight if you're using your fist, or it allows her to also use spell assets in places as well. I think it could be a good thing for her.
And because of the adding thing, they're good for Maxwell as well.
Yep. And he can discard the asset.
Yep.
And he can discard the asset. Wow, look at that.
Nice and clean.
Look at that, okay. Resolve. Would it be take? I guess the wording. This one Doom on that asset. And take fight action on that asset, ignoring all costs. Okay. I'd love to design some skills today, too. Skills are tough, though.
They are indeed.
So I feel like an interesting place for skill design that they've touched on a little bit. They've done it a lot with events too, but events and skills are obviously very similar. But a card like Nimble, where it determines how much you succeed by, I think is a good place for more skill exploration as well.
Yeah. Definitely more for rogue succeed by X stuff.
Yeah. Let me just move that over here, chat. You're not supposed to see that. Okay, let me just pop in here. Okay. Well, baby, well, those are the two ideas I had, so plumb out after that, but it's a good start for the day. What's this no attack? Oh, that's the... What is this no attack guardian thing? Oh, I should rename that to its actual proper name. Grace under fire. Your first action each turn that heals or activates an ability printed on a weakness. It does not provoke attacks of opportunity. Has lightning bolt, discard Grace under fire, heal 1 damage or horror. Yeah, that seems cool. I think stare down was also pretty sweet.
Yeah, that one's got great flavor.
Yeah. Evade, add your brain to your skill value for the 6 evade. If this is your first action, this test successfully may remove a do for non-only card at your location. Oh, yeah, I love that use of bold as well. That is pretty cool. Okay. I feel like what we should also do, if this, I would add a comma. Your first action that heals, comma, or activates an ability printed on a weakness does not provoke attacks of opportunity. Yeah, sure. I think that's totally legit. But what I'm also saying is, I think with this baby well prepared, I think we could look at one of these assets, and maybe we add another icon to it. Just to have some synergy with baby well prepared at 0. We can look at that, like that's like a big picture when the whole thing is done. But something to keep in mind, I think, is good. If we're going to be putting in a card like Baby Well Prepared, name forthcoming, we should potentially also have some better support for it. That's not just for Maxwell Pike. I do like Karma. That's a cool card.
Yeah, that one has a lot of cool additions to it.
Yeah. And who's that one lady we did? The Mystic, the Coven Ritualist? Yeah, she popped off too. Her design was really neat. Luckily, the Doomspell one's probably going to be easier to find art for. Imagine you have a lot of pictures of someone just doing magic, but not as many photos of someone looking determined or...
Well, I think I got a new flavor for this one. Let me just send you what I found.
All right, excited to see it.
I think this should work with the flavor of like kind of a Wilson Richards kind of way where you're adaptable. You can do a little of everything.
Yeah, I like it. All right. I like that. Okay.
Probably zoom in just a bit to get rid of that black border, yeah.
All right. So it's like it's like a well prepared, but more like an intuitive well prepared, right?
I think we can just call it handy.
Handy. I'm down.
Give it the talent trait.
Handy talent. Yep. Perfect. What's the things?
Oh,
I mean,
I guess we could use supplies to give it a little more interaction to.
I'm also down for that too, because like, what's the worst thing that people do? They build around it, right? Spend
Oh
one
no,
supply.
not that.
Yeah. Not people having fun with the card designs. No.
Yeah, I know. I was just talking with you and Daniel about early Arkham design, where it's just like half the cards that came out didn't interact with any other cards. They just were cards.
Yep. Yep. And when you say they started to like actually design?
Honestly, it felt like around like TCU though. Daniel
Yeah,
did say
circles when we started to actually like there was like track shoes and drawing thin where they had this interaction, like stuff that started to like compound with each other.
and work with the investigators.
Yep.
Daniel did say that they added a bunch of seal stuff for Father Mateo, but like none of it interacted with it itself.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like this is a seal thing. And
Well, it's like yeah, because even like Kelvin didn't really have much that worked with him, right? He had perseverance.
Or Finn, I guess there's like nothing that came out that Finn wanted to use.
No.
There
because like even like
for Leo, but honestly, just like the basic core set stuff was better.
Yes, and like even like lockpicks in that cycle, Safina came out with it. Because like lockpicks, if they came out in Forgotten Age, would make so much sense with Finn, right? But Safina, very interesting. All right, I love this handy. I think that's a cool design.
Neat.
All right, Doomspell. Get me the most evil-looking art you have that feels like magic.
All right, you asked for it. Let's see what I got.
All right. If you have anything that feels like it has a pact theme, that would be really cool too, because I feel like this could be like fun as a pact spell.
This one's good, but may not fit in the frame.
We'll try it out. That is pretty evil.
Yeah, it does look packed-like.
Yeah, you're right. It might be a bit too vertical, but we'll give it a shot. I mean, if there's a box that worked for vertical...
That might work.
Oh yeah, that'll work. Okay, I can put it up a little bit, just get her head right at the top of the frame.
Yeah, I was thinking exactly the same thing.
So you can see the book
there.
Yeah. Think that's good?
I think it'll do.
I'll bring it down one. Yeah, okay. All right, who's artist for this one? Is it there? No. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Artur Treffner. Yep. Okay. What if the flavor was like about like it's like channeling? So like you're channeling like channeling energy from a dark source, you know?
What about just like channeled hatred or something like that? And then we can do like a set there for an investigate version of this that's like channeled something else.
Yeah, that sounds fun. And then an evade one, of course. I mean, probably. That's how it usually works, right? Channeled hatred.
I guess. I mean, we ought to do it. Just, I don't know. Just so we don't cut evasion out as an option for mystic stuff.
Yep.
Just because it sucks now doesn't mean it's always going to suck.
Exactly. I mean, maybe willpower combat for icons. And then all this cycle could be willpower fit, like willpower foot, willpower book for the other ones.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, well then let's design the other two. Seems like a good place to continue this. You know what? I'm actually just going to copy this. No. I think having the empty art is better. All right, I want to do the evade one next. As I think starting with that one, or going to that one next is nice. Okay, hear me out on this one. What if we kind of push this one a bit? To...
Yes.
Let me just go. Choose an asset you control. Place one doom on that asset. Enemy at your location. What if it's just like this? Push it a little bit to make it not as consistent with the others, because evade is lower value.
Can I see what you have with the first one again?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's fair, because there's usually other benefits to succeeding with certain fight spells, but the evade ones are usually like you can evade another enemy.
Yeah, yeah, or like it doesn't ready.
Yeah.
The reason I was thinking this as well, to not have this be limited to a specific like evade type of asset, was because with Covenant Ritualist, this is a way to put Doom on her.
That's a good point. We don't have many ways to work with her yet.
Yeah. Like, this might be something that is, like, really good, but I think, like, the Doom, once again, with Doom, it should be really good, right?
Yeah, that's something that hasn't been seen a lot yet. Like, a lot of the Doom payoffs that exist are something you can get with lower risk already.
Yeah. I think what we could also maybe do is, like, it doesn't need to be like a matching cycle. This one could cost 1, right? We could see that in playtesting as well.
Maybe. I think 0 cost and 1 Doom for an auto evade seems fair.
Yeah. Yeah, because what's String of Curses? It's kind of the same, right?
Yeah, that only costs 1.
Yeah, you just take the action.
And puts a Doom on the enemy, but you can't damage the enemy.
And it discovers a clue. Yeah, that's pretty much. I think that's pretty unfair. Pretty balanced between the two.
Here, try this art.
All right. Hey, Necro Toaster! Thank you so much for 60 months of the Golden Table.
You have subscription pop-ups with actual Satan, and I think that one's more cursed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the me is the cat. Yeah. Yeah. That one is a good one. Did you send the art?
Yeah, I just did.
Oh, it's just taking a second to get here. Weird. Hello? Why can I not see it? Can you try sending it again?
Let me just send another message to see if it updates.
I got that one, but I haven't seen the art, no.
Alright, let's try again. Get that one?
Yeah, I got that one. Oh, that's cool. Oh, God. Okay. You've finally seen Gift and Nodens in action, right? How was it? In George Barnaby, the card seems problematic. I'm curious to see it in other investigators before I really settle on my final opinion. Card seems nutso, though. Okay. Channeled Hatred.
I'm saying something like channeled treachery.
Yeah. I know it might not... this art's very upsetting, but for some reason, the look on her face makes me think of channeled whimsy. I like treachery as well, because the art is... it's unsettling. And all of these should have a little bit of an evil twist to them.
Yeah.
Channeled treachery. Alright, let's get the Mystic one. I mean, the Clue one will probably just do Channeled Hatred style again, where it's like an investigate.
Yeah, because there's plenty of good investigate tech.
Yeah.
I think this one should work for that. It's funny you say that, Holy Helicopter. I was thinking of the string along lady as well.
The art, it does actually like have like a very similar vibe to it, because I was also thinking that. Oh no, so you're saying string along? String of Curses. It gives me like the same color scheme. They do seem like sister spells with that art. Okay. But I want to see her hands on the other side of her head. Maybe not that much.
Honestly, you could probably zoom in a bit.
Zip. Yeah, that seems good. Give me a Mystic Spell. Give me Willpower and Intellect. for this investigate. Is it investigation? Add your book value to go with this investigation.
Yep, that's right.
Okay. All right, channeled knowledge, but evil. Like, it could just be knowledge. It kind of works with hatred and treachery, right? Treachery tricks, hatred is damage, knowledge is this.
Well, maybe. Knowledge doesn't have as evil inherent sound to it.
Give me the old thesaurus, and let's look up the word knowledge and find the most evil sounding word here.
About something like channeled obsession.
Works for me. Okay, well, there's a little cycle of cards. I should change the name here. Take an investigate action on that asset. Costs. Cool. That's a neat little cycle.
Yeah, and broadening your options for getting doom onto things.
Yeah. Does it sledgehammer the right way? It sledgehammers the right way. I'm pretty sure. Let's look at push to the limit. Ignoring all costs. Yes. It does sledgehammer the right way. That's pretty sick. So yeah, what I like about these is that they're obviously very good in investigators like Maxwell and Dexter, who can like get rid of stuff in play, right? But otherwise, the value of like having to wait for the mythos phase, like the witching hour, is a little bit of a something. But I think also like survivors will like these cards too, because like they have things that can discard. Like I think Channel Treachery, we should watch this one because it does seem very good. But again, all the restrictions that have Doom cards eventually get probably lead to there being Blood of Thoth situations, right?
Yeah. But I think this is at least a good place to start from.
Yep. I'd also play this after playing Seneca for a bit. I would bring this in Mystic Seneca, put it on David Renfield, spin David Renfield, and get rid of him. That seems really good. With Seneca's ability, which is unique to him, mind you, but I think that's pretty sweet.
Indeed.
Yeah, and then like obviously as I mentioned, on any asset for the Coven Ritualist is really good there, but only Maxwell and Dexter have ways to remove her from play. And the only thing that's scary about that is it allows you to recur Channel Treachery. But I think that's still okay. I think this is all nice, powerful stuff that is interesting.
Yeah, you need more pieces to also recur the Coven Ritualist as well. So it's a good combo, but it's not infinite in itself.
Yeah. Okay. We should do a Seeker and Survivor, because we only have one Seeker card and two Survivor cards. We have a lot of Guardian and Mystic.
True. Let's start with the Seeker then, because I think that's the one we've given the least attention to.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the interesting thing about this is that Seeker has Seneca, which is he's so ally focused that we don't want to just make a bunch of allies. We're probably going to still make a few more allies to give him more options. Moose has the movement, and who's our other Seeker? Is it the healer?
I think that's, yeah. Yvette.
All right, why don't we should maybe do a healing card for Seeker then. Well, I guess she does heal. This Dream Wanderer does heal, doesn't she?
He does.
That's pretty good. That's funny. Okay, well let's do a Seeker card. Let's do a Seeker card. This card works for Moose too. How do we keep doing this, Beard?
Because we just picked simple mechanics to start with.
Yep. All right. Yeah, let's do a Seeker card. Let's do like an investigating card that can help Seneca's 4 book, because he does only have 4, so something in there that's not magnifying glass would probably be pretty interesting for him.
Thinking an asset?
Asset, yeah.
Why not something like
Ooh.
an annotated script that has like a bunch of stuff penciled in the margins?
Yeah, sounds great. I mean, we could just go with annotated script for the title.
Yeah, well, at first, if it ends up being something powerful, we can make it like a unique thing, but
yeah,
as a baseline, yeah.
All right. Guess what, Daisy? You got a tome. Okay, uses. Okay, what's the flavor for this? What's Seneca using this script to discover? Seneca Empowered Research Librarian gets 2 of these for instant dual wielding. That does seem pretty sick.
Should we make this a research card?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, we could. We could. Okay. I mean, that's a good way for us to get, like, 4 Seeker cards made. Annotated script. Subtitle Rough Draft.
Well, it has to be undeciphered or untranslated if you want it to work with
So for the subtitle, okay, that's how these work.
For the what is that Seeker permanent that like specifies untranslated or undeciphered?
What's it freaking called? Analysis? Yeah, shrewd analysis. After you upgrade a card with unidentified or untranslated. Okay, unidentified, I guess. I like that more than untranslated because it's... it's in English probably. Okay. All right, what's a fun way to translate something?
Let's see. Maybe it can trigger from after X amount of assets leave play.
Yep.
So it does work with Seneca.
It could. I think that's not a bad idea. The other thing I was thinking as well is, what if it was like you had like a checklist of actions you need to take, and that it's like performing a play, you know?
That's also nice.
I don't know how to word that.
I guess like, yeah, I'd have to think about that for a sec. I'm still looking for art.
Yeah, okay. Let me just put some stuff.
You can at least put down like some of the things you want it to do.
I don't know. That seems like a big memory issue. That's the hard part too. I guess it could be this. At the end of your turn, if you took different actions on this card, then this card. It could be something simple like that. Okay, what if we did a scaling one? This is Strange Eons, yeah.
Might work.
Yeah, sounds great. Oopsie, I did the thing where I put the guy's name in the image file.
It'd be hilarious if you put the guy's name in the image file and just gets up a picture of the guy.
Yeah. Oh, we found him.
That's what he looks like.
Okay, we'll need to extend it a bit. Yeah, we'll have to fix that for sure, Holly Helicopter. Then you may remove campaign log limit once per campaign. Just to stop the thing. So this is kind of what I was thinking. I like the idea of having a scaling thing, kind of like the Ancient Stone. And you can kind of like push your luck to try to go for as much as possible.
Yeah, it does kind of encourage you to find it early.
Yeah.
Get it out and start taking the different actions. It's not like just, okay, I've done the 3 rounds I've done with 3 different actions. That's out of the way. It's something where you actually want to focus on it.
Yeah, yeah. And then I think we should like aim for like 6 to be the average number of things that they get for it.
Sure, and we can grade that kind of like the Edge of the Earth spells are, where lots of charges are needed.
Yeah. And I think we could like call them, I mean, we could go like Ancient Stone style and have them be secrets, or we could just like use a special thing, a term for them as well. We have some options there.
Yeah, and the performed X scenes make sense with the different actions you're taking.
Yeah. First version is very easy to flexible with house rules. I mean, house rules very lightly here. This version makes so you need to do a hard decision that you cash it in. Oh, I see what you're saying. For the limit once per campaign. I see, because the whole is like yeah, because I mean the goal is that makes is that you only can record it once, so we just got to find the wording for that.
I think some of the other ones, like then you may discard annotated script and or remove it from the game even.
Yeah.
There also should be some minor payoff, because like the other ones are like, when they pay off, you also get like 2 cards or some resources or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not purely action syncing into a scenario.
Yeah. Well, I've noticed that's like they didn't do that for the recent one, the count, the whatever the thing is called in the feast. Sorry, Drowned City. I don't think they did. What was that one called?
Yeah, what was the payoff for the level 0 dial?
Oh, Dial of Ancients. Yeah, that's it. There is none. There is none for that one. Because you're, like, evading enemies, so I think they looked at it as, like, that's what you were doing, right? That was the reward.
I suppose so.
Turn if you took 3 different actions.
But,
resource. Skip.
Yeah, there's no payoff for the different actions.
I guess the thing that makes it, for me, what makes it feel like it's okay that there's not a payoff is the fact that, okay, 1 second. Let me just do this. Is that different is actually pretty easy to trigger in Arkham because it's like an investigate action on Grim Memoir, basic investigate count as different actions.
That is true with that clarification.
Yeah.
I still think there should be something minor like discover a clue at your location.
Okay. Turn. If you took 3 different actions, turn, place 1 resource on full name. Then you may record your cane log you perform X scene. X scenes for the do. So Holy Helicopter, what happens if you translate multiple Ancient of Stones? Because apparently, yeah, you are right, you can. How does that work rule-wise? Do you just get to choose, like, one of the 2 numbers? Action says turn, place 1 resource on annotated script. They may record in your campaign log that you performed X scenes for the print play where X is the number on annotated script. If you do, discover 1 clear location and remove annotated script from the game. That seems fine for me. I think that's a fine, easy payoff for it.
Works for me.
It should cost some money too. The classic Seeker 2 sound good to you?
Can't think of a reason not to.
Everything just costs 2 in the Seeker class. And guess what? Guess what, everybody? It's going to have 2 icons because of Handy. Also, because it's a Seeker card. They just get that. They just do. Probably want this to take up a hand slot as well, right?
Yeah, that's probably needed.
All right, well, this doesn't solve Seneca's investigating problem, but this is a really cool research card. I think that this is actually a really cool translation thing to go with this.
We can just make sure the upgraded one is something he wants to take.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So here's my thought. I love this art for this. But what I would love to do is to have our 3 versions have a different symbol on the front, the upgraded version. And I don't know about doing that with someone's actual art, but maybe we could find like I could find like I could search some of my stuff to also just find a book picture, and then we can like Photoshop, like I was thinking like the king in yellow, we could have like the yellow sign on it, some other symbols too to match with it. I think that could be really cool.
Let me see if I can just find like a basic old paperback book.
Sweet. So you get the highest the highest stone number. Okay, so that's good too. So then the same thing will apply for annotated script. There's nothing we need to worry about that there. Perfect. Campaign log that you perform X scenes for the play works as a number of resources on annotated script. If you do, discover 1 clear location and remove annotated script from the game. Cool. All right, give me Ancient Stone on the phone. I need to look at its upgraded version. Okay.
Need to go back to shaming websites for putting their own watermark on images.
100%.
We used to do it like 20 years ago with E-Bombs World, and it needs to go back to being shamed. This might work. It is a photo, but well, you know, we just crunch it through a filter if you get desperate.
Yeah, and I can do some stuff with that. Yeah, I love that's a really good art, that other one. But you know, now because he has a picture on it, unable to load portrait. Well, painting the sheet, a legal state exception. All right, sounds good. There we go.
Understandable. Have a great day.
Yeah. I don't know the highest number I got on a stone, to be real. Yeah, okay, I can work with that. I can do some tweaks. Okay. So how do we not? I mean, that's crazy. There's so much text on Ancient Stone. It's kind of crazy in retrospect.
I'm surprised it took them till Edge of the Earth to add researched.
Yeah. So what if we just did like this? Maybe this is better. So it's going to take a little line. Full name. Enter. So is this would be a reaction, right? Play.
Yeah, it would.
On it. X is the number. That is so much line. But I feel like we need to have that.
Now we better make this second effect pretty clean then.
Hi, Lucas. How's it going? The other thing we could do is we could have the effects scale with the number of plays that the number of scenes that you have done. So it comes with a set number of secrets, but like the more scenes that you've performed, the better it is. So not just an Ancient Stone copy, right?
Yeah, something like add, like place one secret on it for every 2 or 3 scenes. It depends how much you want to add it.
That's it. Okay, let's explore that. Let's explore that before we do just an Ancient Stone copy.
Also, Holy Helicopter. I think King in Yellow is kind of the only cursed play in the Arkhamverse because it's kind of its unique territory.
Yeah.
The only similar thing I can think of is there's the cursed opera Massa de Requiem per Shoge.
Yep. I'm sure also we could do some digging. There's probably some reference we could do. Someone did somewhere in Weird Horror that we can reference as well. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna throw something down and we can go from there. Should this have a downside? So here's what I'm gonna put. I don't know if this is I don't think this is good enough, but I'm gonna put this in here just because I'm thinking similar to what you're thinking. Holy helicopter. What's the word I have on this? Oh, that's not how you spell investigation.
Honestly, rather than trying to make it the King Yellow or Massa de Requiem, you should probably just like make up 3 original ones because we're already going to have to make up one.
Yeah, that's fair too.
And the King Yellow kind of already has its place in Arkham.
Yeah. That's true. If you can pretend it's my pet, yeah, the Petrus Dacia translation of the King in Yellow.
Damn it, Petrus. But then we'd need like a 3rd subtitle.
Yeah. Yeah, just like put it, like just Photoshop another one on there.
Yeah, just keep having them go down. It's just like the King in Yellow, next subtitle, Petrus Dacia translation, then Act 1. Scene 5.
Yeah, just keeps going. Yeah, yeah. We could change the subtitle. I'm just so. Oh man, I don't know. I feel like this is more interesting, where the card scales with the symbols, as with the scenes, as opposed to just being another ancient stone. But I'm trying to think of like.
What about your base skill value is X?
Okay, yeah.
Because that would want you to get like at least up to 5.
Your base skill value is X, where X is the number.
At the same time, that's not really needed for high-level seekers.
No. But we're gonna we gotta add a little bit of a flavor to it, I think. So then this is where we can have like the play come in. If you succeed by 3 or more, Okay, the other thing we can also do is to... No, I don't know. I was gonna say make this a free action, but I think this being a tome is still good because Daisy... We can't just like eat Daisy Walker's pie. She already has so many pies that she needs to eat, and she wants to eat them all.
Yeah, but sometimes you want cherry pie and sometimes you want pumpkin pie.
Exactly. You have to have all the pies, right? This investigation, your base skill value is X, where X is the number of scenes you perform from the forbidden play. I think that's a cool thing to have for this.
Yeah. But I also just don't want to have like we give Seeker fight and evade options that are easy for them, and
that's true too.
that's
Okay,
getting out of pocket.
let's see if we can do something else as well. Maybe not an investigate action. Drop that.
Yeah.
What if they are search effects? We can give Mandy something cool to play with.
At last.
Yeah.
See. What are different searches we could do? Because there's really only deck or encounter deck.
Yeah. Okay, I think what we need to do is subtitle play. What we should do is we should have like these plays have like a theme that we make up in the story, and then that tells like what the card does, right? That could be a way that we work with that.
Just from like a basic theater perspective, you have like comedy, tragedy, and maybe like historical.
Yep.
Or drama, I guess you could call it too, but tragedy gets lumped in with drama
it's
as
in
well.
there. Yeah.
Curse you, rule of three.
I mean, we could also go uses X. We could also, we could Forbidden Stone simplify potentially like X is the number. I think that being on the same line is okay, right?
That's probably fine, rather than taking up like 4 lines to do what's essentially that. That's the whole reason they made researched in the first place.
Yeah, and it's there as part of the researched text, right?
Yeah.
And then we don't need to worry about the card scaling, because then I think it could potentially become too powerful, and especially with secrets as well. We can learn from Ancient Stone. We can be better than, well, not maybe stronger than Ancient Stone, it's very powerful, but we can learn better from the formatting.
Move over Ancient Stone, it's time for Modern Stone.
It's new! It talks! It has a yak back built into it. Did you guys have yak backs down in the States in the 90s? Or is that a weird Canadian thing?
I've never even heard of a yak back, so maybe not.
You spoke into it, and then it would like repeat it back in like a weird voice, and you could press buttons to make it like go splat. Might have been a Canadian thing.
No, I think you're jogging a vague memory I have from like middle school, maybe. Maybe a bit elementary school. It was kind of the Bop It era of toys.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and everything had like a weird ass name. Yeah, say and play. Good old yak back. Okay. This formatting it seems a lot better, so we can work with this.
That does remind me I saw a meme recently that was about like company names 100 years ago. It was just like Ajax, Acme, the best, the greatest, and then company names today, Pluble, Crumbly.
I love what Pluble's doing in their space. They're really revolutionizing things.
Just smash the keyboard and see what happens.
Yeah, see what comes out. That's so funny.
It's our new platform, Smubly.
Yeah. And what's your logo? Oh, it's a S in a gray circle.
Just the Smiling Friends naming conventions.
Yeah. Okay. All right, what's a cool thing that these things can do? I mean, they can still be activate actions. Oh.
So,
Oh.
I guess we have to tie it back to Seneca here. What does he want to be doing?
That's a great question. I'm going to counter your question with a thought I just had that's unrelated to that.
Fair enough.
Just for the trigger of your turn, if you did X, spend 1 scene and do this. What if this was the trigger? To kind of go with the same sort of thing.
I think that's a good line to go on because at least it has it consistent.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, now let's go. Now let me go back to your question. What does Seneca want?
He wants to be drawing cards and playing cards.
Yep.
And then
Playing
getting them all to
allies.
play.
He wants to be investigating. And then I also guess the question is, what do Seeker wants that are not just the usual Seeker stuff?
And how do we make X scale reasonably?
Yeah. Your turn. If you... I mean, I guess we could also drop Forbidden. It could just be plays now.
Or even just you, yeah, you have performed X scenes in the play, yeah.
Yeah.
What about returning cards to your hand?
Very scary. I think it's good, but I think it's very scary. But I like it. But I think we need to have like a big... Because recursion is the scariest thing in the world. To me, anyway.
So maybe X should be like half the number of scenes rounded down.
Yeah, we can determine as we figure out what these cards
if
do.
we want like 6 to be the average, then I'll give you 3 scenes.
Yeah. Play. Turn. If you did X, spend 1 scene. All right, let me put one down that I just have one like festering on the mind, and I think once again just putting it out here might be good. At the end of the turn, if you drew a card or caused or had another investigator draw a card, spend 1 scene. Turn, if you drew a card or another investigator draw a card, spend 1 scene. That I don't know how to, I like the support. Okay, if you and then turn, if an investigator drew a card, spend 1 scene, that investigator draws another card and heals 1 horror.
Okay, I think we got something here. We can just change what the effect is for different triggers.
Yeah, I think that actually could be pretty exciting, right? I don't think these are like a top end. I don't think they're like 4 XP. They might be like 3 XP, we can see, but maybe 4 with what they're worth. Most of the research cards are pretty expensive.
I think there's some 3 XP ones.
Yeah, Dream Diary I know is one. Harvey would love this card. It's true. That's kind of what I was thinking. Cool line from the play. You get a card. I get a card. This is the end of your turn. If an investigator drew a card, spend 1 scene. That investigator draws another card and heals 1 horror.
And
okay, I'm just going to copy these.
yeah, just copy this one and...
Yep. Okay. Oh, God. Why are you yelling at me? There we go. Okay, well, what I'm going to do is just going to play name number 1. Just so we know which one's which. Okay. At least when they all look the same. Number 2. And I think the goal with these ones as well is that this is a good shrewd analysis trigger. So none of them should be like... I mean, I think they should all be obviously good. But like, they should be generic, but also like build-aroundable. Like Harvey might want to just grab the card draw one, but he also might still roll the dice, you know?
Yeah, and Lucas has a good suggestion here. Have a skill-based one.
Yep. Yeah. If you committed... At the end of turn, if you committed... skill card to a test, spend 1 scene.
Maybe this one could be a search.
Yeah.
To get more skills.
Search the top 3 cards of your deck for a skill card. Let me just look at Eureka for the right wording.
I think you can just say skill instead of skill card if you want to save space.
Perfect. Spend 1 search the cards of your skill for a skill, draw it, and shuffle your deck. I like that.
Nice and clean.
Yep. Search versus look. I like search. Mandy Thompson needs a little bit of love, you know?
She got shoved in the corner hard because of how powerful she was in Dream Eaters, and she's been there since.
Yep. She needs some love. She needs some love.
And it's not for any card, too. It has to be a skill. So
yep.
If you want to use this in Mandy, you kind of have to build around skills.
Yep. I feel like if you like, even if I was Harvey, I would still like, I would roll for it with these 2. If I just had like these 2 already, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna roll for it, because this one, even if like if I hit a skill, I still get to like draw a card with my ability potentially too. So that's good, right?
True.
Oh, these are fun actually. This is a fun little bit here.
Yeah, you really hit on something good with the end of the turn stuff carrying through.
If an investigator, if X. At the end of your turn, if a number of scenes you performed.
Well, let's think of the payoff that we want, because we have card draw and horror healing for 1.
Yep.
We have skill tutoring for the second one.
Yep.
Maybe I was gonna say refilling charges or secrets, but Seeker already has plenty of that.
Yeah. I mean, what if we did do an ally-based one for Seneca, right?
Returning an ally to your hand, or
Yeah, it could be. I mean, that could be like what his original payoff was for his ability, right? Turn.
like at the end of your turn, if damage or horror was placed on an ally asset you control, return it to your hand.
Yeah. I mean, his allies don't stay in play, but we could go like if you took damage or horror, spend one scene.
Wait, is Seneca's ability discards the allies now,
Yeah.
right?
Return the topmost ally in your discard pile to your hand that are back from the dead.
Yeah, and topmost makes it more focused rather than
Yeah, going with
always getting the best one.
the Wendy Adams approach.
An ally should be a trait.
Yep, it should. You are right. Thank you.
All right. I think we're on to something here.
Okay, no, I was gonna say something, but I don't think it's right. I was gonna like, do we make this a level 2 card so Roland can play it? But I'm like, nah, but I mean, like, research kind of has been 3 because it's been a Seeker thing. But with that said, we are not making money off this, so we can do anything we want with it.
It is true. I mean, they also broke the mode a little bit with like the basic ancient stone costing 1.
Yep. I feel like this would be a cool thing to have, like, in Roland Banks. But maybe that's just crazy. But I feel like these are all pretty I don't think these are high XP cards, right? I think that they're all pretty I mean, maybe the ally one's pretty good, but you also don't have like an easy trigger for that.
Right, because you also need to have taken damage in horror and have an ally in your discard pile at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, is it damage or horror, or do you want to do damage and horror? Just damage or horror?
Probably damage or horror.
Yeah. This one also, like, you care less about the number of scenes you perform as well. I want to like have like this there to be like as if Seneca took a note on each of these scripts, and like this one to be like thrilling twists and characters coming back from the dead.
I'm all for that.
Yeah. Thrilling twists. No! Okay, maybe not. I mean...
I don't think you even need to put
credit it.
Like those line notes in there.
Yeah. The only thing is so... full of twists.
How about returning instead of coming back?
Yeah. Full of twists and characters returning from the dead. Story of survival and teamwork.
Well, this one can be like more of a comedic one where like
Yeah.
the villains of the stories are made into huge fools, kind of like a Marriage of Figaro kind of thing.
Or even like a wonderful comedic ensemble piece. Like as like working together. Comedic ensemble piece. Villains are made fools by
Like clever tricks, maybe.
But let's buy this clever ensemble. Let's do that. Villains are made fools by this clever ensemble. Yeah, let's do that. I like that. Okay. And this one is lots of Amanda Sharp. All right, so this one's our comedy. This one's our like drama.
And the other one can be the sort of the historical one with lots of combat and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's just like the fate of kingdoms are on the line, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Let's go with yeah, and then I think for these we can just go like for this one it could be like like tragedy. Like maybe another word for them, but we could just go like with that.
Maybe you can change the one, the tragedy, for like haunted by the spirits of the past, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, sure. By the spirits of the past. Yep, that seems good. The past. Villains are made fools by this clever ensemble. Historical, the fate of kingdoms are on the line. Hell yeah. Okay. I think we'll go for the... I think this makes sense. If this one is willpower book wild, this one's willpower foot wild. And then this one is willpower fist wild.
You just think of these in the scope of her handy one.
Yes, yeah. And then they all have to cost 2. And none of them feel, I mean, like, I have a hard time with experience cards. I need to, like, also play them. But none of them feel outright, like, busted, you know?
Yeah, like... I'm torn between level 2 and level 3, because these are build-arounds in a way.
Yep. I feel like they should be level 3.
Yeah. Like, it'd be neat if they were level 2, but level 3 is where they should be.
Yeah, I agree. Also, because I actually just do think, like, 6 Eurekas does... Like, 6 skill Eurekas does seem pretty good. 6 horror healing does seem pretty good.
And 6 cycled allies seems pretty good, too.
Yep. That's a cool cycle. And I think that it does actually feel like a performance, right? Because it cares about your turn being the stuff. I think that's a nice little marriage of theme and mechanic there.
Yeah.
And they're also simple enough that we were able to get a line of flavor text on each of them.
That took some doing, especially with researched.
Yep. Why is this one smaller?
I guess you can like drop a vertical spacer underneath the other ones just to shift them up to be the same.
Is there a reason this would be happening? Because it's all the same. It's 2 lines, then 3 lines, and then a line of flavor text.
I think it's just it had to scrunch it a little bit more to fit all that.
Oh, because of all the
lines.
text, yeah. All right, let's see what they look like with a vertical spacer underneath. Yeah, I think we just let that one be a little bit smaller. I think these other ones look nice as they were.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fine. But yeah, just the extra line, like the text is a little bit tighter here. Yeah. Oh, was there an artist for this? Or did you just find a... Oh, no, you did Joseph Barrett. Yeah, okay, good. Was that just the person who took the photo?
I was the only name credited for it, so I hope so. Should we come up with the subtitle names now or later?
For these? I mean, yeah. I was actually, like, I think what we should just do is we should go, like, rather than name the play, I think the idea of just, like blank comedy, blank historical, or like historical blank tragedy, or like that. I think we should include the reference to it. But I'm down to add an extra word to it, so if you have any ideas, I'm all ears.
So, I mean, like, one could be comedic farce. The other one could be historical epic. Drama. Or historical epic is good.
Yeah. And then...
Tragic romance.
Tragic romance. A little Romeo and Juliet up in here. Perfect. All right, that's great. Historical epic, comedic farce. And you technically can hold 2 of them, and I think that's okay as well. I don't think these need to be unique.
Seems fine.
Once we drop the forbidden part of it, I think that the flavor works a lot better. That's a cool cycle of cards.
It's a good day's work.
Hell yeah.
We didn't make any skills yet, but we'll have to pencil that in for another time.
Yeah. We made a good batch of cards. We made what? Baby Well Prepared, which I can rename to Handy, now that it has an actual name.
And we are making experience cards at last.
That is true. We do need
level zeros just because everyone had level 0 access.
Yeah, it's the easiest place to start for this. Seneca can't play Handy, so he doesn't care about this, but Joe Diamond could play Handy if he wanted to. Okay. And then we made the channeled cards, which I think were pretty sweet as well.
I think Mystic's eating real good in this one.
I think so too. How many level 0 cards are there usually in a cycle?
Probably fewer than we're doing because they care more about the higher tier XP cards in a set generally.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like we should probably design, design a bunch, get some numbers settled, and then if we have to, trim down to meet those numbers as well.
Sure.
And, just because...
We'll just have to get a count of how many assets, events, skills, and...
Yeah, get that, because we need to start figuring that.
Because when I did the circus set, it was... 6 assets, 9 events, and 3 skills for level 0.
Okay. Yeah, we could probably do maybe only 2 skills, and then add either an asset. I feel like an asset or an event, depending on what feels better for each of those.
True, and I guess mine was a little specific because those investigators only went up to level 3, so I just had upgraded versions of the level 0 cards.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we can figure out, like, what, even if we want to do any upgrades within the actual cycle themselves, especially because we talked about maybe even doing, like, cross-class upgrades from some level 0s.
Yep.
Which would be pretty cool. Like, a Moonwine that upgrades into only Rogue. Super illicit. Yeah, okay. I mean, I think that was a good day. That was a good days of design there. And I'm excited to do more. I always have fun doing this, and it's one of those things where I wish the cards were actually like real, you know? I imagine you get that a lot, where it's just like, I wish that it was in a box that other people could like play with. But
well, we can set up a print thing later through
yeah, make playing cards.
Yeah, make playing cards.
Yeah, I know once this is all finalized, I'd love to actually have these cards, because I think there's a lot of really cool stuff here. And as I'm playing with Seneca and Moose in a campaign, it's been really fun playing with those guys.
Yeah, Moose especially. I think that's why I keep designing cards for him, because he's got such a interesting line of play.
Yep, 100%. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one. And as always, GG's.